inconsistency that they've shown. Now, since the victory against Manchester United, just at league results, it's gone. After the victory, it went loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, draw and loss. Almost perfectly inconsistent, Sharpie. Almost.
Very Spursy, we'd say, back home. Yeah, it's a weird one because sometimes you watch them and they look like world beaters. They're high tempo, they're intense, they play fast. They close people down in high areas, and they look really good. And then other games, they look like they're a totally different team.
When you bring up other games and who they're playing, it seems, Gary, the big six, plus Aston Villa, who they beat, that's where they excel. It's the games where you expect them to get decent results, where they're not getting it.
There's a huge amount of information on that graphic, but, to simplify it, that's exactly it, Adam. Spurs seem to get better, well, they do get better results against the big six plus Villa, as per that graphic. I don't know whether that's a mentality thing. I know myself as a former player, I always preferred the bigger games. I always felt that, and people refer to this Stoke City away on a wet Wednesday, was the tough one to get yourself up for and to deliver on. But the best sides, the sides that win the Premier League, get themselves up against the lesser teams where, you have to get the result because that's where you win the league from.
I think sometimes teams, like Gary says, it is easy to get up for the big teams. I think the better teams that win things know how to grind out ugly results, and I think that's what Tottenham are trying to learn at the moment. That grind out of an ugly result when they're not playing great, but they can still get across the line, and that's where they struggle.
Mikel, your thoughts on this? Trying to get results, trying to become more consistent, like Chelsea, you think?
Well, they have to. I think Spurs need to find a way of winning those so-called easier game. But in the Premier League, there's no easy game, as we all know. I mean, like you said, Gary, the bigger games. When I play, I think I enjoy playing against the big teams because it's a bit much easier. They give you get a bit more room, a bit more space when you play against bigger players because they'll let you have the ball. They give you a bit of space, but when you play against the lesser team, they're always there. They're always behind you. They don't give you much space. So I think Spurs need to find a way of winning those games. And if you want to become a title contender, those are the games you have to go and win. Remember when we used to win titles at Chelsea? You go to Stoke. It's windy. It's sort of windy night. It's they come. They're very aggressive. We have to find a way to make sure that we quieten them down in the first 10, 15 minutes. And when you talk about Spurs, when they start a game in the first 10 minutes, either they blow you away or they start conceding after 10, 15 minutes. So they need to find that consistency. But I think Ange is the right man, but he needs a bit more time.
He's certainly under pressure. The fans singing some songs about him, which I can't repeat here on TV. Really, really quickly, though, and this question is just for someone who's played for Chelsea, someone who's played for Spurs. Sorry about this, Sharpie. What is Chelsea's biggest match of the season in terms of a rivalry? Now, we know Spurs have got the North London derby, of course, against Arsenal, but for Chelsea, where do you think it falls for the Blues? When you played against them, for example?
I think it is against Tottenham. I think that's what Chelsea... Would you agree with that, Mikel?
Yeah, I will agree with that. Yeah, I will agree with that. Yeah. But, yeah. I think for us, it's either Spurs or Arsenal. But I think, obviously, because for us back then, we looked at Arsenal and we thought Arsenal are the ones that are a bit more closer to challenging for the title. So our rivalry then went more towards Arsenal because we don't want them to win the title.
It felt like something between the managers, specialists in failure.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for Mourinho to come out and say those things, but at the same time, you had the battle of the bridge against Spurs.
Oh yeah, we did. Where I thought we all crossed the line. I think I was speaking to you today off air, thinking. If we had VAR back then, I think a lot of players would have been sent off. I think we would have had 5 players sent off each of the teams. But yeah, we did cross the line. That was something else because it was just the hatred. I don't think we like Spurs. Spurs don't like Chelsea, and the same for Arsenal as well. I think back then the rivalry was so tense. It was so aggressive. That's why now when I see these rivalry games, these derby games, and they start hugging each other before they get on the pitch, I don't like that. I want to see us go in there, be aggressive and play like, it's a derby game.